I came back to the room, like file I have in my hand. I threw it to one end. I took out the blazer. I threw it to other end. I just sat on the bed and started crying.
So yeah, welcome guys to a brand new episode of IIT podcast with Somnath, your host. And today I have a very special guest. Special in the sense because I was inspired by him a lot in IIT. So most of us, when we are writing the IIT exam or entering the IIT campus after clearing the exam, we are about 17, 18, 19. But this guy was not even 16 when he sat for the exam. So we'll talk to him a little bit here right now, introducing Chirma Krishna Vamsi. So yeah, Vamsi, all on you.
Thank you for inviting me actually. So I was wondering, what point, what angle that, like he's talking about being inspired, but yeah, then yeah, now it makes sense. Yeah.
I think exam was on April 10th.
Oh, you
Uh,
remember that also? I made a
yes,
post about it. Yeah, so exam was on April 10th and my birthday is on April 12th. So I wrote the exam when I was 15.
in this podcast, we'll broadly divide it into three parts: life before IIT, at IIT, and then beyond IIT. So, starting off with the first section, how were you as a student growing up? Did you already know that, something about me is good and I'm, destined for better things?
I grew up in a very small town. It's a place called Khammam, 4 hours from Hyderabad. So it's a very small town, nothing special, and I was always topping in the class, like top one, two, three. So my mother was very particular about my studies, and she took a great care of it. That I was always good at it, and I've never really had a second thought about it. So I think so my parents were not someone who are actually very aware of these
Mhm.
IIT and all. So there is a uncle, like my friend's dad. So he's a lecturer, in a college, at my place. And so he knows this stuff. He knows about IITs. He knows. So I don't know if you remember, when we were young, we have these talent examinations, unified council, all that, right? So he was very much aware of that, since he being a lecturer and all. So he introduced all this, to my parents, and that's how I slowly started getting into this. So till then, right, all the subjects in your school are all equal. Telugu, Hindi, English, math, science, social, all this. So that's when you understand, okay, math is special. So when you so so that's when I also knew that, like, maths is a special subject. So that's, I think, this started happening since, I think, fifth or sixth. I started
Mm.
writing these like examinations and all. I think that was the first entry into this. So slowly we started hearing about IIT, all this. And I think from this point, I think my story will be similar to Dheeraj's story actually. So yeah. So our journey is, I think, same since 2008 to 2015. But I didn't know him. I knew him
Mhm.
only in college actually.
Right. So we'll get into a little bit of the IT coaching culture in the Andhra Telangana region. So do you have any stories that you remember where, like, intense study schedules and other activities that went on there?
Yeah, definitely. So basically, till seventh, I was studying in that school at my hometown, and from eighth, I went to this school called KKR's, Gautam International School. So that school is for people who want to crack IITs or NITs, that stuff. So I joined there. So till then, I was only competing with people from my place, right? Now this place had the best people from all over the state. So in eighth, I joined there, and so there also I was actually topping. And
Nice.
this school has a thing. So the people who are actually doing well in eighth, they actually make skip ninth and directly make them write 10, so that when you give IIT, let's say you didn't get through, you can take another year and you won't feel like an year is lost. So yeah, so I was part of that. So even till this day, I still question whether that was a good decision or a bad decision. Because what happened was, so that happened. I skipped. So suddenly, the thing is, now I'm actually surrounded by people who are 1 year elder than me, and I was very very intimidated actually. So my confidence took a huge plunge.
Dip, yeah.
Yeah, so because so when I was in eighth, these were the people I saw who were in ninth, and now I'm suddenly sitting beside them, in 11th. Now I was very very intimidated, like I was really scared and all, and I was not doing well also. So till then I was always first. Now I am somewhere, like the 80s, like 90s, some rank. So they do this test every week, and I like my rank was something like that, 80s, 90s, something like that. So I didn't know what to do because this was first time in my life where I'm not in top three. So I didn't know how to deal with that. And as like those colleges, right, in Andhra. So like they were like very 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 like stressful, like you have to. So the things that they plan is like, I think some 12 hours, like classes and study hours milake, like you'll have like 12 hours of studying you do in a day. So and me right now, I'm underconfident, I'm being overwhelmed. And the important thing is, now I don't know how to deal with that. Like I'm still studying, but I'm not in the top 3. Now I don't know how to deal with that. And I didn't know someone like who could actually tell me about these things also. And the only thing I knew is to study, right? Because that's what I was doing till that point. So what it is, I kept studying more and more. So I used to study for like 15 hours. Yeah. So basically, there used to be a break for 3 hours in between. Uh, like we have classes till 12 p.m. and 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. There used to be a break, and 3 p.m. again. We sit there and we study. So during those 3 hours also, like everyone used to sleep, or play, or like some relaxing stuff they would do. I just go in and sit in the classroom and I'll study, because that's the only thing I knew. I don't know how to deal with it. And I just said to myself that if I just keep studying more, somewhere it has to crack, no? And I'll start doing better. So I kept doing that for the longest time actually. So somewhere in 12th, I think I kind of understood that I don't have to like put so much onto myself. And yeah, that's when I started relaxing a bit.
So we'll talk about IIT Exam Day Experience. You had studied for these many years. You had a rigorous schedule of 15 hours study days, and then you finally get to the exam day. What was the culmination of all the effort that you have put in? What was that day like?
On the exam day, I remember I was actually so sometimes, so you were writing exams all those 2 years, right? So every week you have this test. So sometimes when you write an exam, you immediately know that like you wrote it well, and you get that feeling. So I was actually expecting that kind of feeling on the day of IIT also, but I didn't get that. And I think it's also partly because actually the paper was easy compared to previous years. I don't know if you remember, but the JE paper was easy actually compared to previous years. So maybe partly because of that also. Yeah, I was expecting that feeling. Yeah, I didn't get that feeling, and I was a little disappointed. Yeah, I think that was the experience on that day.
Any relief, the sense of relief after the exam is done? Again, it was an easy paper as you mentioned, but was there what feeling did you have more? Was it a sense of underachievement or was it a sense of relief?
Underachievement, yeah, I didn't get the underachievement
Mhm.
because I'm saying this because I thought that I'll get a rank below 100. Like I was sure that I'll get a rank below 100. And after I wrote the exam and checked the like answers and all, I kind of knew that I'm not going to get under 100, right? But I didn't feel much bad about it. I don't know. I didn't feel much bad about it. I was okay. I think 2 days after the exam, I think that's when I really started to, grow into a new person actually. So till then, I was always doing what I was being told. I think just after, 2 days after exam, then I started. I think that's the first moment maybe when I started thinking independently. Actually, I said to myself, okay, from now on, maybe I should do things which I enjoy the process of doing also, not just which I enjoy the end results of. Yeah, so I think I kind of went into that mode, after the exam is done.
And one question I missed earlier was, you had these coaching institutions, and am I correct in assuming that that was the first time you were staying away from family as well?
Yeah. So since eighth, I was staying in hostel
Uh-huh.
basically.
So
Eighth
was
to
it tough or is it emotional?
it was very tough in eighth. So now I tell to people actually that you're not supposed to send kids to hostel at eighth. That was very young. At least 11th I can understand, but eighth is, yeah. I used to cry a lot actually. I used to go in the bathroom and I used to cry because the point is, I think it's difficult. Till then everything is done for you. Now one thing, you're actually suddenly in a new place, all new people, and also you have to do everything on your own. Like you have to figure out how to do things. So both these things, like it's very scary, at like eighth. So I used to cry a lot for the first, like, but yeah, but it's only for the first 2 3 months. Then friendships develop, and you realize that everyone is going through the same thing, and you relate on that. And yeah, after 2 3 months, it's fine. But yeah, I still tell people actually, you should not, send kids at that age. Maybe 11, they'll know something. So yeah.
Okay. So we'll talk a bit about the day that you found out about the results, the IT result day, and how was that day like, and whom did you find it from?
So I think I was still sleeping. I think I woke up to, my father, talking with someone. I think someone checked and I think called and told him the rank and all. By the time you know your marks, right? You kind of know where your range is. It's somewhere in the 500s range. I knew it already, so it was not much of a shock also. And I was also kind of in a, like different, like I mentioned earlier, I was in a different mood by then. So yeah, I didn't really feel much actually.
Okay. So how did you get to choose the IIT and the stream?
Yeah, so that was actually interesting. So originally I have put like how like normally people would put the options, right? Like IIT Bombay CSC, Delhi CSC, like that. So then I talked to see I don't know anything, right? Like I don't know anything about any branch, or like my parents are also very aware of these things. And so one thing that I thought was, thinking about computer science, I so I was actually listening to your episode with Dheeraj, and he said something about that, right? And that is exactly what I thought also. So this is exactly the thing I thought. So when I'm thinking about computer science, I don't think I'm a person who wants to sit in front of a computer all day. So I think that's just not me. So this is what exactly I thought, and I thought maybe not computer science. And also after IIT, I was I really felt in love with physics. Till I gave the exam, I was always studying because I had to like clear this exam. But I think after writing exam, that's when I started to enjoy actually reading physics. I don't know if you know this book called Resnick Halley.
Mhm.
I used to read that a lot. That's when I started to, I saw the difference. Like learning, reading something because you actually like what it is versus doing it for some goal. So I really started enjoying reading physics, and I was reading a lot about quantum physics. That used to be really cool. So I was actually talking, and I thought that I thought that, like like that's my thing. And I was talking to a senior, and I asked him, like which branch is closest to it. And he said, electronics is something that's closest to it. And I thought, okay, no, I should do electronics only. And I made IIT KGP ENDC as my first option above everything else. So I think I could have gotten, I think based on how I gave options, I think I could have gotten mechanical in Delhi. So, but now I have put this option at the top. So that was, I think, in my range only. So I think I got that.
Okay,
That's
nice.
how that happened. So I think I was this guy basically. So when I like something, I just make that thing my whole personality. So now, because I was reading this stuff and I'm loving this, now I make that my whole personality, and I want to basically tie everything to that. So now every logic goes out of the window. That maybe CSE is safe, or going to maybe Bombay or Delhi is safe. All that goes out of the window. Now this is me. I want to do this, and I kept it at the top. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing that happened, but yeah, I don't regret it.
Okay, nice. So, with that, we'll come to the end of the first section. We'll move on to the next section, which is life at IIT. So, okay, you crack IIT, you get IIT KGP the EC branch. Uh, so, what was the first day like when you entered the campus? Or you can even start before, like the journey to KGP. How was that like?
Yeah, so it's a 24-hour journey from like Khammam to Kharagpur. Exactly 24 hours. So there is this train called East Coast Express. I think all the Telugu people, they go in either, there are two trains, East Coast and Falaknama. So they go in either of these. So yeah, so it's a 24-hour journey, and there is another guy also from like Kammam, who was actually joining KGP. So our fathers know each other. So all of us are going together in the train. So yeah, we reached Kharagpur. Then we took that taxi. We went to the college. I don't remember. First we go to the hostel, right?
Yeah, hostel.
Yeah. So yeah, went to the hostel, and the first thing I noticed is everything is so big. Yeah, you never seen stuff so big. Everything is so big. So yeah, first done that, and yeah, yeah, met roommate. Then went to tech market, bought a cycle. So that is, I think, so now it's been so long, right? Now you look at things differently, but I think that cycling culture is very cool actually.
Yes.
Like not every college has it, right? Yeah, so went to tech market, bought that cycle. I think next went to that Takshashila to complete
Mhm.
the registration process and all that. Yeah, I think second day, I think we had that orientation program. Yeah,
Okay.
it was,
So let
yeah,
me ask you one particular question, which maybe just be relevant for you. So you come to the campus, and the average age of the students coming in, the freshers would be around 18, right? Do you feel a sense of age gap? Because 2 years right now may not be that much of a difference, but at 16 years old, you were at that time. Did it feel a little difficult? How was it?
actually, I was always a very underconfident kid. So I think that stayed through college also. I think only after a few years after college, I think that went away. So I think that was always there, and also partly because I never actually played any sports while I was growing up. So that also, so now I know actually why like playing sports is important. How you get comfortable with people and all that. So I was always that that underconfident kid, always like socially uncomfortable. I just want to go into my corner. I don't want to be around people. So that was there. And also, yeah, because I also looked very much like a kid when I joined college, and
Yes.
there are so many people who are actually looking like fully grown men. So that didn't help at all. But yeah, that was really there actually.
Okay.
I was overwhelmed.
Okay. Coming to the next question would be, how do you find the IT culture like? So culture has many aspects. So one of the immediate ones that hit, as you spoke about, was the cycling culture. Then there's the aspect of food as well. Then there's, huge buildings. Then there are GCs, elections, pests, everything. So we'll come one by one. One is first would be food. I think it was your first time in Bengal, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How
Yeah,
was the food like?
yeah, our mess was not great, man. I really, yeah. I think that was the first time I explored North Indian food also. At Billus, right? So that's when I started falling in love with, this butter chicken, this whole butter chicken, butter naan culture. Even now, actually, I eat more that only, than what I've eaten for the first 15 years of my life. Yeah, so that was cool. And yeah, I think chicken fried Maggie in VS Canteen is the best Maggie that I have eaten, even till now. I still think a lot of times I just book a flight, go to Kharagpur and eat that Maggie.
I remember we used to plan Saturday nights, I guess. We had to go to VS canteen, and because the food was so cheap, I think
Yeah,
20 rupees we had an entire meal, but the food was so tasty again. And it was,
so many birthday parties.
yes. Maybe segue on to the next question is you spent 4 years in IIT. Basically, all of those years you were a teenager,
Yeah.
right? And how did the transition go from, let's say, first year till fourth?
I told I was a very underconfident kid. So I was actually always unsure that I could actually make friendships. I never thought that I could actually make friends. Like be part of a group or something like that. So that happened. So that's when I kind of realized, like, when you are in a space for 4 years with the same set of people, you actually, the friendships form that deep friendships, friendships for life. And you learn a lot about people, actually, because you see them very close for so long. So I think that's one big thing that actually developed, basically, which I think must be true for like everyone in college, right?
So, but it was especially helpful for you, right? From underconfident to gaining some sort of
Yeah,
confidence.
yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. And how was the coursework like from, let's say, first to fourth? Did you enjoy the entire journey? Like from, common courses in first year to more department focused courses in the succeeding years.
When I joined college, I thought that academics were important, like I think most people would think. And but I think by the end of first year I kind of understood that. So this is not the only thing, because till then studies was the only thing that I was doing, right? I think by the end of first year, I understood, okay, so academics is not the only thing. So there are different things that people are doing. So I also don't have to just do this. Like this is something that I was doing till now, but that doesn't mean that I have to keep doing it. So maybe I can do like less of this and do other stuff also. So, and also I've realized that so before I joined college, I thought that like professors are like really what do you say, are a better class of people. I thought that. But once you go to college and you see them, no, it's just like any other profession. There are good people, there are people who are good at their job, there are people very bad at their job in any profession. So I lost respect. I see professors who don't care about students at all. They turn to the turn to the board in the start of the class, and they don't turn back till the end of the class. So who are you teaching to? So yeah, I always imagined, like IIT, being IIT, I thought that you would have like great teachers. But later I understood, like, these professors, they're actually not great teachers. They're just who are very, very academically inclined. So that's how they are hired also. So they're not great teachers. I think I've met only maybe like one or two professors who are actually great teachers. So that was a huge shock for me. And also I still remember, actually, so BTech, the BTech project that we have, right? So like, right, like a lot of people, they like do the bare minimum, and like just they do something in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and just get a grade and like get on with it. I wanted to do something related, which is actually more mathematics inclined than like something related to electronics. So I did a project related to time series analysis of like some stock market data. And I really liked it. I really liked working on it. And I really put in effort every week. So we have this presentation at the end of the semester, right? They realized that I have not done a project which is not related to electronics. It was something mathematical. And they just assumed that this is an easy thing. They had made up their minds even before listening to me. And they were actually not at all listening to me. They were asking questions which are totally unrelated to that. Their questions even didn't make any sense. And that's when I think I've really felt that even these people, they have that prejudice inside them.
Any other, yeah, funny stories that you remember from college days, which like anything that you tried for the first time, or maybe something felt crazy to you as well?
I don't know if you remember, basically in second year, so Springfest had this competition called Mr. and Mrs. SF.
Ah, yes.
I participated in that. So basically, the thing is, right. So I was working in a non-profit organization at that point, and I had access to like 200 people, like 200 like juniors who were studying in different IITs and NITs. So I basically I had that advantage. So I thought that maybe I can win this, and like I enrolled in that. So that was a fun thing, because my competitors were right. They're all like 6 feet, insanely good looking people, and basically I was. So I think I came in fourth actually in that.
Yeah,
So
well done.
that was a fun thing.
Coming to the next question would be the placement season, right? So 3.5 years of studies or whatever we did at IIT, mostly with the goal of getting a placement, getting a job out of IIT, and that season starts during our third year, first December. So how was that season like for you? Did you find it interesting, or basically how was your feeling?
I got placed on day 4, and I think those are the most stressful 4 days of my life. So I got shortlisted from day 1. Okay. And so I got placed on day 4. And basically 15 companies rejected me before I got the offer on day 4. So like later I understood maybe it would have been little less stressful if I got shortlisted only from day 3, because you're feeling that rejection only from day 3, right? But I was getting I mean, I'm sure it's 100 times more stressful for people who got placed on day 10 or 11 or even later that. But yeah, so I was getting shortlisted on day 1. So day 1, the first company that I was shortlisted was Goldman Sachs. And I think they called at 6:30 in the morning or something, 6:30 or 7. The day 1 it starts real early, right? Day 2 it starts a little later. Day 1, because there are a lot of companies also, it starts very early. So I went very early. And I so there again, people there were like some 50 year people, and people from CSC. So they were going into the interviews. So they're coming back, and they're discussing about the questions that are being asked in the interviews. And most of it is actually going over my head. So it's like one of those things, right? Before the enemy kills you, the fear kills you, right? That happened with Goldman Sachs. So before I go into the interview only, I was done. I know that I'm not going to get this. And yeah, I think same stuff happened on the second day, third day. So first day it was 2 companies, second day I think 2 or 3 companies, third day it was I think 5 companies. So and fourth day it was I think again like 6 companies. So yeah, I was like day 3 also I didn't get. And I think somewhere in day 3 I was starting to get the doubt. Wait, like is it not going to happen at all? Because already like like by the time I think so some 6 or 7 companies it's already happened. That fear started happening, and it's slowly like building up and all that. So day 4 again, day 4 also like 6 companies happened, and again you don't know the result then, right? and also the exams go till, and I was very tired, right? Because it's like the day starts at 8 a.m. and also it ends at 2:30, 2:33, because you have to write exams for the next day companies. So day 4 happened, I wrote exams for the day 5 companies, it was already 2:30 or something, and I was tired. And also I think the blazer you have to put, right? I think I didn't get the measurements properly, or something, because it was very rough, right? So I got rashes because daily I had to wear for like 10 or 12 hours. I got rashes here. I was in pain, all that. So at the end of day 4, I came back to the room, like file I have in my hand. I threw it to one end. I took out the blazer. I threw it to other end. I just sat on the bed and started crying. I cried. I cried like for I think like 5 or 10 minutes. I think I just cried myself to sleep. So luckily, I don't have to go through it again on day 5. So day 4, so end of day 4 is when I broke down, and I got placed on day 4. So day 5 morning, so day 5 morning, I saw the result. So my then girlfriend, so she also got placed in the same company. So I called her, like it's morning, I think 7 o'clock or something. I called her, met her. We went to that place. So beside Tikka, there is this Maggie place, right? So we went to that Maggie place and ate Maggie. I think that was the best breakfast I had in my life. This is just so much relief, right? Because like I don't think I could have gone through like one more day of that, like facing so many rejections. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was yeah.
Let me ask you this. So preparing for IIT versus preparing for this job season, how would you compare those two?
I think it was very very different actually preparing for IIT, because like I used to study for like 15 hours or something like that, because at that point that was the only thing I thought this could be done. So I was doing that, putting myself under so much stress, and like studying 15 hours a day and all that. But job, I didn't have this thing that I have to get in the best company. I thought that okay, this is what I want, this is what I did, this is what I wanted to have done, and whatever company is wants that, I'll just go into that. So I was in that mood. So yeah, I didn't take too much stress, like before like the company started coming. I was confident only. Yeah, only when I started getting rejected by so many companies, that doubt started coming in. Oh, maybe what I've done is so little that it's not enough for any company. But yeah, looks like it was enough for a day for company, so it's a cool.
Yeah, the realities of job hunting, even in IIT, is very stressful. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, even after you leave IIT, also that's still there, right? You
yeah.
thought that you could crack something, but you won't. Then you
Mhm.
understand that you come short somewhere and you work on it.
Right. So with that, we'll come to the end of the second section. We move on to the third, which is life after IIT. So, KV, what is your current job role, and where are you placed right now?
So currently, I'm working in a company called Event. It's a health insurance company. Yeah, in Indiranagar, Bangalore. Yeah, so first I joined a company called Stazilla. So it's worked there for 2 years, and that company ran out of money. It got shut down, went down with it. Then joined another company, Fresh Menu. I think a lot of people know it, and that company also didn't get the money, and they had to fire like 60% of the people, and I was one of them. So my first two job experiences were where I had to, like, one company went down and I had to let go because company didn't have money. So I feel like that actually prepared me more, like than anything else, your first two experiences being like this. So basically, after the second company, so I thought that I should take a break. So I was not really liking this job. So something is like, this thought is constantly there in the mind that, maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe I should do something else, but I don't know what it is. I just like that. I just feel that, I'm not into this job like I was there maybe a couple of years ago. But I was not brave enough to actually make the move to quit the job, like while I was working in the second company. Yeah, I was just kept on delaying it, and one day the CEO calls me into the office, and she tells this thing, that we didn't get the money, we don't have the money, so we have to let a lot of people go, and you are one of them. And that moment I still remember, right? The first thought that came into my mind was, how did she knew, how did she, it's like, it's a very weird way of saying it. So this thought is there in my mind since like for 4 or 5 months now, that I have to not work for a while. And this happening, it just felt like a god sent signal to me. The moment that those words came out of her mouth, I instantly knew that I should not go search for a job again, I should take a break. So I took a 8 months break. So the agenda was, I just won't do anything. So the agenda is not to have an agenda. So I will not have any agenda, and let's see what happens. And I thought, so I have like some money saved, which I think will last me for 1 year. So I thought I'll just give myself 1 year, and see what happens. So that was the experiment. So nothing much happened. Like I read some stuff, I tried some things, I tried enrolling in a philosophy course. I thought maybe I'll get into that. And end of it, I kind of realized that like I have to go back. Yeah, and I went back.
So in that break, am I correct in assuming that that was the first time in maybe a decade that you were doing something for yourself? Like till then, you were just studying, you were told what to do, and that
I
journey.
kind of. So I think I was very uptight. Basically, I have always been uptight. I was uptight all 4 years of college also.
Hmm.
So I still think sometimes, that I didn't do college right. I wasn't fun in college. I think I was more fun after college. I think during that time, like 2017, 2018 is when basically that opened up. I started breaking down that, very predefined notions of, it's supposed to be this way only. And that's when I started, like entertaining, different kinds of things. I think that's when I think that's the moment I basically started to have fun for the first time in my life.
Hmm.
So that's when I started to basically, like start writing these, little jokes. So I used to post on Facebook, which I'm now doing in WhatsApp. And that's when it started. Basically, that's when this whole love for, like writing jokes, or like, so I think I was always basically into writing. While in college also, I used to write these quotes and whatnot. Yeah, I think from then I think I started tapping into the creative side of me.
Okay. So we'll come to the next question is, what do you cherish most about IIT life?
Yeah, I think for me, I think the thing that I most cherish is the friendships. Basically, I have made friends for life there all through school, like till 12th. Like studying with, I was very one-dimensional person. Studying is my whole personality. There's not more than that. But I think college is when I started exploring the, like dynamics of a relationship. If you are a friend for someone for so long, it goes through different phases. I was actually, I was having these. So that's when I started having these deep conversations with people, understanding all these dynamics. Yeah, I think that was the huge thing, that I was like not the one dimensional, a person that I was before. So these other things now started to, like growing inside me. Yeah, so that was the most important thing that I, like took back from KGP. But other than that also, what I love about the IIT KGP culture is that so there are a lot of things, right? When you say culture, you have these societies, you have these GC elections, all this stuff. So if you combine all this, and I feel that IIT KGP is a perfect microcosm of a real world. So I think a lot of people, maybe in other colleges, I don't think will agree when I say this, but it's also, I think there is some truth to it, because IIT KGP is the one of the like oldest colleges, right? So all these things must have also evolved a lot over time. So yeah, I feel that like whatever elements you have in the real world, right, be it political parties, news channels, all the stuff, all the good and bad that you have in the real world, you have a microscopic version of that in the
Hmm.
college.
Okay. And I know you're pretty opinionated about this. So, what are the suggestions that you would like to give to a current IIT aspirant or maybe students who are studying in IIT? Yeah.
Okay, if I have to give suggestions to the aspirants, I think there is only one thing. Just don't hold yourself back. Like, try as many things as you can in college. I think earlier you try out different things. I think it's better. Like, you might have a certain view when you're going into college, that you have to spend your time in a certain way, like I did. So a lot of people might have, but actually you get, like, now you have a chance to actually explore different kinds of things, good or bad. I think yeah, that really, I think builds character. So, yeah, basically, yeah, try as many different things as you can.
And you also wanted to talk about, let's say, should people still be aspiring for IIT?
I think so. Because I have prepared for IIT in a certain way, right? I feel that you should not, do it that way. Studying, like not having a life, from when you're 12 years old to maybe like 16 years old, like just studying buried in the books for so long, and not do anything. Yeah, I don't really recommend that way, but I also don't know what's a better way. But I don't know, maybe the world has changed a bit now. Maybe it's not as bad as it was before, but I'm really not sure actually how it is now. I'm not okay with that, with this. It's say which says that you're not worthy if you actually don't get into IIT. So that is there a lot. So maybe, see, maybe because I went to IIT, right? Maybe I will never understand how it is, how it takes a hit on your how you value yourself if you actually don't go to an IIT. But you read about it, you talk to people a lot, and I know for a fact, right? Because I have also gone through that, how much it's been fed into your brain that you're not worthy if you actually don't achieve what you set out to. It doesn't have to be IIT, right? All the people that went to IIT are not doing well, right? All the people that didn't go to IIT, also a lot of them are doing well. So your life doesn't end at any point. It doesn't end at 10th, it doesn't end at 12th, it doesn't end after IIT. So you always have time to actually basically like get better, and keep changing your goals, whether you keep checking whether what you want are aligning with the lifestyle that you want to live. A lot of people don't do this. They want something and they don't frequently reconcile with the way of life that they actually want to live or not. So they live 10 years compromising on that, and when they reach there, and that doesn't give the high that they imagined that they would give, and they regret this 10 years because they compromised on their way of life.
So, with that, we come to the end of that section. Moving on to the next is the rapid fire. So, I'll just shoot out few questions. Whatever the first thought, you give it to me back. So,
Okay.
yeah, great. The first question is favorite subject before IIT.
Physics.
Hmm, nice. And a favorite professor at IIT.
Sharba Bandyopadhyay, my BTech professor. I mean, I have to tell this about him. He is the chillest professor I have met. So he used to tell me, please don't call me professor, call me Sharba. That's how chill he is. You know how professors are, right, at college. So yeah, he's really a gift actually.
Favorite course at IIT.
I think digital logic. That's
Digital electronics.
no, not electronics. I
Hmm.
think there's a course called digital logic. No.
Third year.
Yeah, yeah, third year.
Acha.
3-1 or 3-2. Yeah, I think that one. I think maybe it's electronics only.
Okay.
I'm not sure of the name.
I remember, I don't know if it is exactly correct or not. So, digital electronics, when the results came out, I think we were the only two people to get EX.
Oh, I
And
think that's that one only. Yeah, yeah. Then digital electronics. Yeah, I got EX in that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, and I remember even the toppers of the, they had been toppers till then, they were getting B or C, or
Really? Oh,
8 or
I didn't know this actually. I know that I got EX.
yeah.
Okay, okay, cool.
And that was so strange for me. Like, it was a sense of achievement. I don't think I came at it from that angle that I have to achieve an EX. It just was, I was more interested in that subject than any other.
Exactly. I like that one because it was more abstract, right? It was
Yes.
just pure logic basically. So that's why I loved it, and that I knew, that I would do well. And yeah, I got EX in that. Yeah.
Great. Most enjoyable year at IIT.
Most enjoyable, I think, would be the third year. I think third year. I think somehow I think I was more balanced. I don't know why. I think maybe it's a lot of things, but yeah, third year. I think.
Most confusing year at IIT.
I think it should be first year.
Too many things going on. Right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Favorite lingo at KGP.
Peace.
Did you use anything else, or did you, forget most of it
Yeah,
after so long?
I think I forgot most of it.
So yeah, with that we come to the end of the episode. It has been very entertaining and very enlightening, coming from the angle of whether the teaching culture should be as it was 10 years back, whether students should still aspire to get into IITs when there are also other options available. It is very nice talking to KV. He's very opinionated. He's also a self-declared movie critic now. So
I never declared myself.
So you can find out his reviews of any movie, especially Telugu movies that are coming out on his WhatsApp, on his social media. We'll link that in the description. And hopefully, yeah, KV, you had a fun time as well.
Yes, I did. Thank you so much for inviting.
Okay, so that concludes the episode. Again, this has been IIT Podcast with Somnath signing off.